Hey there, FOX6 Sports. How you doing? We're in April now. We're talking baseball. We're talking basketball. We're talking sports. We got Brandon Cruz, Lily Zhao, Tim Van Born. We appreciate having you as well. The starting lineup for tonight, a winning week for the Brewers. They get up off the deck to take 5 out of 6 games, and that is despite continued mound melodies. What's next from the infirmary? A Red returns. We catch up with Cincinnati's Gavin Lux. The bounce-back Bucks win 4 in a row after losing 4 in a row. And our latest high school hotshot is carrying his family's well-respected basketball name to the next level.
Because we're not playing great. Now, I'm not going to candy coat it. Like, we're not playing great. You can say, well, they won 5 out of 6. What are you talking about? We're not playing great.
That's what you have to love about Pat Murphy. Candor to the end, and he's right, actually. The Brewers have a great week, 5 out of 6. And if you had said that last Sunday night, boy, they look like they're poised to win 5 out of 6. I think you would have turned the TV off. But Lily, you've seen some improvement this week. Brandon, you were out there today, and the mood has picked up considerably as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the one thing that you did see with this team, even after they came back from New York, they were still upbeat. They still had the confidence, but you could tell that that frustration was building as they had their home opener. But as the week went on, you can tell they're more relaxed and they're more focused on just doing what they need to do to get a win. And it might not be pretty, as he alluded to there. Not a lot of guys are hitting, but they are winning. And some guys are hitting, though. That's Jake Bowers with a home run. He's hitting near 300. They are getting timely hits. I would say Sal Frelick is maybe the most timely of them all, and he seems to always have somebody on base, and that tends to be Bryce Terang, who you see there. And so they are taking advantage of their opportunities, putting crooked numbers up in innings, and then they're able to hold on and win these close games.
We're seeing some of this video here from New York. Obviously, it was 0-3 in New York to start the week, Lily, but they come home, and right now they're clicking at home. And that's despite some of these hitters not really catching fire. I think there are 13 position players that have been to the plate this season. 6 of them are 200 or below on the batting average.
Yeah, it's kind of been an interesting, when you look at the order, right, you're expecting the top of the order to really carry the Brewers in terms of their hitting load, and that's not really been the case. It's kind of been the bottom or the middle of that lineup, but it's nice to see that these guys are getting involved despite the fact that Christian Yelich, William Contreras, those guys are struggling at the plate early on in this first couple weeks of baseball, and, everyone else is kind of finding a way to win. Christian Yelich, I think he's batting 125 right now, not really up to the Yelich numbers that we're used to, but we know he'll get there. William Contreras also kind of struggling at the plate, but give him kudos, give him a lot of props for the way he's been able to handle these young pitchers, his ability to call a game and play well there and communicate well there. He's been stepping up in that facet, but you're kind of wondering when those bats will warm up for a Yelich and Contreras to go along with the Bryce Terangs and the Sal Frelicks.
Oh, a year ago at this time, Brandon, you couldn't get William Contreras out. I mean, literally, he carried the Brewers single-handedly, so that's how things can swing in the course of a baseball season. We talked about Bryce Terang. You mentioned that. He's at 10 straight now. They've played 10 games this season. He's been on base with hits in all 10.
And he's hitting the ball hard. He's got a lot more power and pop, it seems like. And talking to him today, the one thing he was saying that he's bigger now, he's stronger than he's been, and he says age is helping him get there that way by holding on to that muscle tone and that weight. It's something that you can see. There's another difference, too, that he talked about, as did his manager, that he's more confident up there. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's expecting, and he knows that he can get the job done. He's not worried about what the pitch will be. He's not worried about where his feet are. He's just worried about being comfortable and getting the job done. So the confidence and then the body have really helped him with this 10-game hit streak, and he's only the 7th Brewers player to start a season with a 10-game hit streak.
And you don't want to go way overboard on this stuff, but you know what? He's one of the best players at his position in baseball. Jackson Cherry is one of the best players at his position in baseball. The Brewers have some of these guys, even if they don't have the long-term reputations. On the pitching staff, though, they're just decimated right now. That's what Pat Murphy's been referring to almost game after game. And they're really getting it done with who they have. Freddie Peralta, I think, getting those innings, and obviously Chad Patrick, who you talked to today, kind of been a sleeper this week, has helped immensely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is just what is an interesting time for the Brewers. And we saw it last year, right? 17 different starting pitchers. And you see who steps up in the absence of guys who are injured. That's a Tyler Alexander, a Chad Patrick helping out the starting rotation that is really down on their luck. Freddie Peralta right there, as you see, getting in nice depth there. 8 innings for him the last time he was out. So nice to see your ace get the length in a game. But you like the fact that you get to see these young faces stepping up early in the season due to injury, see what they can do, see how they they can help the starting rotation once those injured guys do come back. But you do like the fact that Freddie Peralta came back out on the mound and he bounced back with a phenomenal performance. He pitches again the next time they're back out on the field. So it's great to see him bounce back, and then these young arms as well coming up and helping out as well.
And you look at that bullpen, it's been a strength in Milwaukee for years now. Even if the faces change and the arms change, there are some guys in that bullpen right now who didn't expect to be on this roster at this stage, and yet they're holding the fort.
They are, and you know, we're talking about Freddie Peralta's outing, and this is included with the bullpen. He went 8 innings, and it looked like, okay, that's going to hold the bullpen off, but that game went to 11 innings, so the bullpen still had to play. And then the rest of the week, they keep coming on, and Trevor McGill has been very good as a closer. Koenig has been really good as a setup role. Everybody, again, that Pat Murphy has called on out of that bullpen has done their job to keep the Brewers in the games. I mean, they win 1-0, 1-0, 3-2 this week. All of that basically was the bullpen holding that team down and allowing those few runs to be the difference for the Brewers. So to me, that is the strength of this team, despite whoever is called on to start. And those starters have done their job too.
Yes, they have. And maybe I missed it somewhere here in the video because I was talking to you guys. Maybe I didn't see it, Lily, but I didn't see any Sal Frelick. This guy on defense and at the plate has proven that he's a big-time contributor.
Yeah, I mean, he almost hit for the cycle the other day, too. And so he has been phenomenal. I mean, I think when the Brewers need a big hit, you call Sal, and he gets the job done, right? And so we know what he can do defensively, but his contributions at the plate, especially early in the season when other guys are struggling and still trying to find their power at the plate, you have Sal just kind of doing whatever he can, playing some small ball, just getting the Brewers, you know, on base and contributing that way. So the fact that he is stepping up, Bryce Terang is stepping up, these young guys finding their footing, per se, and they're hitting early on bodes well for this Brewers team as they go on back on the road.
And they go on the road, and they're just getting this season going. Bucks, on the other hand, are winding season down, but they have won 4 games this week themselves after losing 4 games in a row, Brandon. We have to start with Damian Lillard. We don't know exactly when he's going to come back, but how much of an X factor is he now, because the team has shown it can still win some games right now, back into that 5th playoff spot, which would put them against Indiana in the first round?
Yeah, I think right now the thing with Damian Lillard, they just want him to be okay. I mean, he's got the issue with blood clots in his calf, but there's been good signs, at least according to the medical staff, and it was something that Doc Rivers talked about on Thursday.
The numbers are phenomenal, and why mess with it? It was our thing is why flying or anything could affect that, and so our thing was we have much more hope today than we did 3 days ago. I can tell you that. And so we're going to take everything that we can do to see if there's a way we can get them back.
And that's the thing. So if they get him back, I think that gives this team a huge boost going into the postseason. But I think what's more important is who's coming back this week.
Well, and that's what we can talk about. So Lillard didn't go on the road trip. They win 3 games out on the road. They now come back, and we're in the home stretch here, 4 games left in the regular season. And this was the magic number for Bobby Portis when he got that 25-game suspension. He would be back with 4 games to go in the regular season. Here we are.
Here we are, and it's nice to have the mayor of Milwaukee return on Tuesday against the Timberwolves. It'll be much needed for this Bucks team. We've seen Giannis really carry that scoring load, Brook Lopez as well, but having BP back will be that third body, that third scorer that this Bucks team sorely needs. They were 15-10 in his absence, and the fact that they are poised now to be that 5th seed if they can just hold serve, I think bodes well now that Bobby comes back, brings another body, can score, gets the rebounds, but most importantly, guys, brings the energy, and that's what this team loves about him.
Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference standings here, and it will reflect the Bucks are in that number 5 spot. The Pacers are number 4. That will give the Pacers home court advantage at a spicy first-round playoff series, because these 2 teams have a little history going with them. We would be remiss if we didn't this week talk about that Suns game, Brandon. Bucks and Suns. Mike Budenholzer back in Milwaukee. Bucks got the win, and Budenholzer obviously at Fiserv Forum.
Yeah, and he was very happy to be back. His team didn't win. They beat the Bucks at home. But what was very funny in the return here is he mispronounced Giannis's name. I guess it's been a while since he's been in Milwaukee and seen Giannis, but obviously the 2 shared hugs. And I think it was neat for Milwaukee to have him back. The one thing that was interesting, though, that Giannis even called the organization out for not having a big tribute video for Bud and what he did for this organization.
They recognized Budenholzer during the game with a little message on the board, but that was during a timeout when Budenholzer was diagramming a place, and I didn't even know that that took place. You saw Shaka Smart at that game as well because Osa Ighodaro plays for Phoenix, the former Marquette player. So Smart's been busy watching Tyler Kolek and Osa Ighodaro come back of late downtown as well. We're busy because we got a lot going on. Pat Murphy's always saying something. That's coming up on Say What, and we go one-on-one with Kenosha native and Cincinnati Red Gavin Lux when we return on the Blitz.
Another game Friday.
You play like an old man.
We got another game Saturday.
That's a little bit of a trick question.
We got another game Sunday.
Being bit to death by a duck.
We got another game Monday.
The guy's baking a pizza back there.
It don't stop, right?
Isthmus. Isthmus. I use that word anytime I want, and it can pertain to anything. And no one knows what it means in Arizona. No one knows what it means, so I just throw out isthmus all the time.
It's the opposite of a torpedo bat.
Yeah, it's an isthmus. We're going to get isthmus bats.
It's always funny with him.
Lake Mendota, and right down the middle. There we go. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, as you said, it's always entertaining with Pat Murphy in whatever media availability he's doing. You know, it's also entertaining to watch Gavin Lux. Here's one of those guys, and we've seen him in all sports around here because it's such a hotbed. Come up through the high school level, then they make it to the major leagues in this case. And he was an LA Dodger for many years, and in that organization, now he's a Cincinnati Red. So he was back this week. We had a chance to catch up with him. How does your background and your family, how does that get you through some of those challenges or get you through this career?
Yeah, I think, you rely on your inner circle a lot. Obviously my parents, my fiance, my uncle, I feel like I'm venting to them constantly, when you have a bad game and all that stuff. And it's always good to have people that, you trust and you can rely on to give you good advice and just to get stuff off your chest. So, I rely on them probably more than anything.
Yeah. You wear Indian Trail proudly, Kenosha proudly?
Always. Yeah, I always try to go back and see my old teachers, and one of my best friends actually is the baseball coach there now. So it's just kind of funny how that works out, and we grew up playing together. So it's pretty funny that he's the coach there, and it's always fun to go back.
You played with some sensational talents in Los Angeles. You're next to Ellie De La Cruz on this infield sometimes. Yeah. What is he like?
Man, he's as talented as anybody in baseball, and there's some stuff that he can do that other people can't. And the crazy part is he's still only 23, and he's getting better and better. And with the more experience he gets, and he's already probably one of the best players in the league. And his ceiling, I don't think you can really put a ceiling on him. So it's been fun to get around him and just help any way I can.
And we will go beyond the game with Gavin Lux tomorrow night on Fox 6 News at 9. Refreshing to see him back. It's kind of a fresh start for him.
And it's interesting seeing him in red and not the Dodgers blue, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Did he talk about what it means to be back in this part of the country as opposed to being out there with that team?
Yeah, and that's some of what we'll get into tomorrow. As you can see, he relies with his family, very close with his family and friends, and the chance to be back in the Midwest. Shorter drive even to go see them in Cincinnati. It's not just that the Reds will come to Milwaukee more than the Dodgers would, for instance. It's a lot easier to go over Cincinnati and see some home games. So, it's also interesting. You're 27, I think. So are you a veteran or are you still a young player on your way up?
Right. Well, I'm going to say he's a young player on his way up that has a World Series ring.
That's pretty cool.
And he did play fairly well for the Reds despite their 3 losses this week against the Brewers here in Milwaukee. Well, switching gears, the college all-star game tipping off Final Four weekend at Marquette's David Joplin making a splash in San Antonio. He finished the all-star game with 21 points, 7 of 8 shooting, most of those 3-pointers. He also earns a game's MVP honor in his East team's win. And Badgers guard John Blackwell, he's testing the NBA waters. He declares for the NBA draft, but he's left the possibility of returning to Wisconsin. He's maintaining his college eligibility. Now, he does have until June 15th to make that decision. We'll find out what he does and where he fits into the NBA draft prospects. As time goes on, we'll see where he goes. But when we come back, we have this week's High School Hotshot. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. The senior has worked hard to honor the name on the front and back of his jersey. Even better, his traditional summer job came with a sweet twist. Here's this week's Fox 6 High School Hotshot.
name is Aaron Womack III. I'm a senior at Dominican High School, and I'm on the basketball team. I just go by Aaron Womack, only at the third when it's something official or like I'm writing my name on the test. Most of my friends call me Aaron. Some people call me Boss because that's my nickname ever since I can remember growing up. All the Aaron Womacks have been pretty much known around Milwaukee. My dad's was pretty known. Every time we go somewhere, somebody's always saying what's up to him. So I'm kind of like my dad in that way. Nice to go somewhere and people recognize me as being like the best Aaron Womack now that's been hooping. Being better than my dad is something that he wanted to see for me and something I wanted to see for myself. You know, he had a pretty great career, and so now I have the same opportunity, scoring 2,000 points and being an all-time leading scorer. And now I'm going into college, hoping I could have some success too. And head to Syracuse and play next fall to realize all the history that has come through Syracuse. Carmelo Anthony, his name being on the wall, and meeting legendary head coaches. But that's something I dream about, playing in March Madness. I didn't expect to score 1,000 points, 2,000 points, be the all-time leading scorer for Diamond Stone's record. I was at the free throw line, and then I ended up making the first free throw to break the record. And then that was pretty cool to see how much support I had, family standing up, and the student section went crazy. It was a little weird at first, and I would take pictures, and now I was realizing it's something I have to do, and working on that signature, and then realizing it would be up in the Hall of Fame. It's crazy to think about, it's hard to explain, but 4 years at Dominican, it just changed my life. Working jobs in the summer, working at State Fair is something that everybody in the family has pretty much done, but it was a cool job. I worked at Cream Puff. I've never eaten a cream puff. I've never tried a cream puff because it doesn't look good. And people line, there's huge lines, people pack the building just to try a piece of bread and some cream. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me, but they pay good, so that's why I gotta work there. My name is Aaron Womack III. I'm a senior at Dominican, and I'm the all-time leading scorer at Dominican High School. Now I'm this week's FOX6 High School Hot Shot.
Oh, Aaron, we're going to have to get you to the Wisconsin State Fair so you can try one of those. Meanwhile, Aaron led the Knights in scoring all 4 years, and he has since eclipsed Diamond Stone's previous record. Well done. The UConn Huskies are atop the women's basketball world again, and Germantown's KK Arnold a part of that success. She helped UConn win its record 12th national championship this afternoon as they beat South Carolina. The sophomore came off the bench, had 9 points to cap off a championship season. What a year. We'll be right back.
The calendar turns and we roll ahead. This is it for the Bucs. Last regular season week at home. 3 of these 4 games. They play the Pistons twice. Could be kind of interesting.
And the Brewers hit the road again. They get tomorrow off, which is a big deal. Freddie Peralta throws on Tuesday, and then after that, it's all TBA because of the injuries on their pitching staff. But they have 3 in Colorado. Then they go to the Heat down in Arizona. They return to what they just left with spring training, so it should be an interesting week for them.
Yeah, from the heat to the cold, the Admirals back on the ice. They're also nearing the end of their regular season. They're going to be at Iowa on Wednesday, then they finish out the week at home against the Wolves and Ice Hogs.
All that's coming down to the end. The Milwaukee Wave season, by the way, does end tonight in the essentially the semifinals of the Major Arena Soccer League in the playoffs out there in overtime. Tough loss for the Wave. So the Wave season is done. The Admirals, it's interesting, they're still going. You've talked with Cal O'Reilly recently. The fans, you and I were talking back at the office, they're back in the tie for first place. There's a following here for another very successful team.
There really is, and they've had a successful last couple of years in the playoffs, of course, reaching the Western Conference Finals back-to-back seasons, so we'll see if they can do it again. But this is a team, though, that still has those Calder Cup championship aspirations, and they hope that this year will be the year.
Well, and there's a lot of consistency with this group. I mean, even as you see some players change over season to season, they still have the talent and they still have the ability to come together and put together really solid seasons. And that's what you see when they get to the playoffs, and that excitement starts to build. I mean, 2 Western Conference Finals appearances in a row. They're that close to the Calder Cup Finals. I wouldn't be surprised if they fight for it again this season.
Yeah, it's very interesting that those guys are right on the stop there, and of course with the landscape, you understand the Bucs and the Brewers getting more attention. You know, the NFL draft is rapidly approaching too, guys. Here we come.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll really have milestones as we get closer to that now. I think it's the build out and we're going to get there. But if you're one of those teams at the top of the draft, you're really narrowing down your list on who you're going to pick. So fun time of year in sports around here for sure. Always good with Lily Zhao, Brandon Cruz, Tim Van Born, and your company here tonight. We'll see you next Sunday night on the FOX6 Sports Blitz.